All right, project number 1, due on February 3rd by 6 a.m. All your projects are due to class after your homework. And we have the first question that's going to be on your test. What is statistics? That's the only definition you need to memorize word for word. Group number. Question number 1, your group needs to decide what question you would like to ask GBC students. This is hypothetical, you're not doing it for real, but you're coming up with a question that you would like to ask our GBC students, and you're going to post your question in the iCollege discussion board. This way, I can check and make sure what project you have, and no groups have the same topics. Then, I want to know what is your variable of interest, so I'm going to give you an example that you cannot use. My question will be, what's your favorite color? Yes, it can be that simple. What is my variable interest? Favorite color. Is my variable qualitative or quantitative? If I asked you what's your favorite color, what would you say? And what would you say? So, what's the question? Purple. Blue. There you go. So, all of them gave me what kind of answers?
Qualitative.
Qualitative answers. So, my variable will be qualitative. If it is qualitative, what level of measurement is it? Is color nominal or ordinal? Nominal, because there's nothing we can do with it. Yes, this project is easy. You're welcome. Identify how many Georgia, gotta change that. How many Georgia State students would you like to survey? You're not doing this for real. Pull the number out of the air. 75. Okay. Describe the process of how you would perform a simple random sample on your number of students. I can put all 50,000 Georgia State students' names in a hat, and I can take out 75 names. That is simple random sample. That's one thing you can say. You can say, I'm going to use a random numbers table, and I am going to start at row 1, column 1. Where did you get that from? You made it up. So I start at row 1, column 1. How many columns do I need to use for 50,000 students? 5, 0, 0, 0, 0. So that means I'm using all of these. And the way we use the random numbers table is we start with this number, we proceed downwards, we skip any number outside of our frame, we skip any duplicates. Can I talk to this person?
No.
Can I talk to this person?
No.
Can I talk to this person?
Yes.
So in my paper, everything I said, I would say I'm using the random numbers table. We would start at row 1, column 1. I need 5 columns because we have 50,000 students. We're going to proceed downward. This is the first person. That's the second person. Dot, dot, dot. That shows me you know how to use the random numbers table. That's a second option for what you can do for explaining a random numbers table. The simple random sampling. Your third option for what you can do for that part, you can say, I'm using technology. And we're going to start with seed 22. Where did 22 come from? We made it up. And this is how you set a seed in the calculator. You do this, you do this, you do this. Copy that word for word. Then you say, we need our actual numbers. Do this, 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 do this. The first number is 1. You press a comma. The last number is
50,000.
And then you press enter how many times? Thank you very much. Those are 3 different things that you can do for part 6. Select 2 other sampling methods on, not Monday, but Wednesday. We talk about the other ways that you can sample. There are 4 other ways that we're going to cover to sample. So you pick 2 of those and you explain those methods. Then you have a research part. How does sample size affect the study? And there is this beautiful website that when you type stuff into it, it gives you answers to the questions. Anybody know what website it's called? There you go. How does sample size affect a study? Bling. And then you pick the first 4 and you read them and you summarize. I need a bibliography. 6th edition APA format. You must summarize. Do not copy and paste word for word, because that is plagiarism, and you get no credit for that. I don't need inline citations, and you are summarizing in 2 to 4 paragraphs. Can I turn in 1 paragraph?
No.
Can I turn in 5?
No.
Can I turn in 2?
Yay.
All right. Then describe all of the kinds of bias your survey may be subject to. We talk about bias in 1-6. That is project 1. I'm not trying to kill you with projects. The goal is to review the things that we're doing in class so you can get an idea of how we approach this outside of the classroom. It's another way to review for your test, just making sure you understand the content. Page 2 is your rubric. Do you submit it on time? Yes, 5 points. Did you correctly tell me what your variable of interest is? 5 points. Is it qualitative or quantitative? 5 points. If it's qualitative, tell me if it's nominal or ordinal. If it's a quantitative, tell me if it's discrete or continuous. Outline the process of how you would do a simple random sample, hash, or random numbers table, or calculator, or if you want to do extra, do them all if you want, but you only get 10 points regardless. You got to be clear and thorough of whatever method you select. If you give an explanation, but there's any question that is missing, anything that I can say, what about this? Well, what's the seed? Well, how do you know where to go next in your table? If there's any question that I have to ask you about your explanation, 4 points. You select 2 other sampling methods, 20 points if it's clear and thorough, 10 points if it's not clear or it's not thorough, or both. Research. We need a bibliography with 4 sources, APA 6th edition. If you don't know what that is, go here, and it will help you format it with that. If you have some stuff but it's not formatted right, you get 3 points. 20 points for your paragraphs. 0 points for plagiarism. So the way we check for that, you submit a PDF to iCollege. iCollege checks and tells me a number. What percentage of your information has it seen before? And if that number is greater than 40%, that means you're plagiarizing, you get 0. So 39%, good. 41%, bad. Everybody got it? All right. Then describe what type of bias that you have. 10 points if you have a detailed discussion of all the kinds of biases, and everything below that you left one off, you're not complete, you're missing something, you get a reduction of points. Grammar, I teach math. So if I find grammar and spelling and punctuation mistakes, that just means you did a bad job, because I am not good at all. So I give you some leeway. You can make 4 for your errors and still get full points. If you get between 5 and 7, 5 points. If you got more than 7, then y'all get shamed. Then, this is the last part that you turn in. So each person in the group turns in this paper. You put the group number, you put your name, you put all of your group members' names on the left. You write down what they were supposed to do. You give them a grade between 0 and 100. And then if it's anything other than 100, tell me why. So this is how we deal with people who don't come to class, people who don't do their share, people where everybody was supposed to do their own part and we were supposed to come together and compare, and people who don't show up, or people who submit things late. This is how you grade them accordingly. If you have any disputes about the grades that you get, you come see me. I let you see the comments. I don't let them see the names, just the comments. And then that will tell you why you received that certain grade. At the very bottom, I have an example so you know how it's used. So there is a group grade from that page number 2. There's a grade for the entire group. Everybody gets together, you're going to submit one document to the iCollege Dropbox as a PDF. That document gets a grade. Then, in this example, the group grade is 95%. So you did very well on the project overall. Your team members gave you these scores: 90, 100, 75, 85. So that means your average given by your group is 87.5%. So you don't get a 95 on your project. You get 87.5, your team members' rating of you, multiplied by the group grade, and that's your grade. So it is very possible, and it happened a lot last semester, that some people in the group get 95%, and then some people get 83s instead. So the reason is because you're lacking on something. So the way you compensate for that, as a group, very soon, you all decide what is your research question. As a group, you decide that. You post it into iCollege, and where do you post? So glad you asked. At the very top, on the right-hand side, you should have discussions. And you have Project 1 topics. So under there, you will post what your topic is, just so everybody has a different group. And you will also say how many people are we doing in our survey. Then everybody in the group should go into their own project. You meet up, bring it all together. Say, I like what you wrote here, let's use yours. Well, I like your first sentence and your last sentence, so let's put that together. Your bibliography is nice, let's put that together and use that. You turn in one document, that way everybody has contributed something, so they can't say, well, they didn't do their part. Because last semester, I told them to do that, and then they did what they wanted anyway. And then they had this person doing part A and B, and this person doing C and D, and the two people never looked at each other's stuff. So I was like, y'all, what y'all doing? Y'all supposed to work together. So even if you divide it up, and please read other people's stuff to make sure it makes sense. You put it all together. All right, any questions about Project 1? All right, excellent.